Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Moshe Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. It's also time to give a shout out to our official sponsor, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. And if you love fast-paced mysteries, then you love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook as well. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, Pandora, and more. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful screen legend who is best known as Stick the Assassin in Bruce Lee's Game of Death. He's the quintessential iconic action movie villain. He's been in Black Belt Jones, Ultimate Warrior with Yul Brynner, also An Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris, Tom Horn with Steve McQueen, Gary Marshall's Exit to Eden with Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell, and also Samurai Cop 2 and more. And he also worked with Jerry Lee Lewis, and he's also worked with Mike Connors, A. Fagoda, and he's been inducted into 5 Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and also serves as a volunteer on Skid Row, Council Prisoners, and worked with the Special Olympics, and he also has a project that's very special to him and also dear to our hearts as well. He's also got some upcoming projects. This is one of the busiest people in Hollywood. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios outside Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, the quintessential iconic action movie villain and super nice guy, the very, very multi-talented Mel Novak. Mel, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. You're all over the world. That's awesome.
Well, looking at your profile, I mean, you got to be most awesome as well, too. So you basically got known for Stick the Assassin in Bruce Lee's Game of Death. And, of course, I'm a Bruce Lee fan. I love his stuff. And, of course, you have been in Black Belt Jones, Ultimate Warrior with Yul Brynner, An Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris, Tom Horn with Steve McQueen, and Gary Marshall's Exit to Eden, Samurai Cop 2, and more. And also you've been in quite a number as well, too, with working with Richard Tyson, Black Hawk Down. And you just have a lot going on. You also have a couple of movies we'd like to have you talk about. Inducted into 5 Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and also serve as volunteer. And before we get into all that, Mel, tell us how you first got started.
Well, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I had 60 football scholarships, major universities all over the country, and basketball. And I signed a pro baseball contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a year and a half later, I had a massive rotator cuff tear and have the surgery where I got butchered. I have an 18-inch scar there. That ended my career. That ended any college, everything. And I eventually came to California, and I didn't come here to be an actor or a minister in Skid Row and prisons. I wanted to get away from people who said you woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I had to just start a new life, which I did. And how the acting came about, I was working in an insurance company, and I always dressed with custom suits and two-tone shoes, and this gal says, my cousin's a modeling agent. Would you like to meet her? I said, sure. So I started modeling, and then he sent me to acting schools, and I was able to learn my trade because I had a job. I had money coming in. I had a free car with that company. And the first major TV show was Mannix, which was, I played a hitman. So that was me starting out. I've died 25 times in 61 movies.
25 times in 61. I'm having a hard time dying once, and I don't even want to think about it. 25 times, that's got to be an accomplishment.
Well, in real life, I should have died 7 times, and I never did drugs or alcohol in my life.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's like I say, someone called me today, how you doing? Every day above the ground's a good day. So that's how... And my first major movie was Black Belt Jones. And I did my own fights and stunts. Pat Johnson, who was a martial arts stunt coordinator, taught me a lot. And 2/3 through the picture, Robert Klaus, who really liked my work, they increased my role to a big role. I played a hitman named Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And 2/3 through the picture, he said, I'm taking you to Hong Kong with me to do the Bruce Lee movie, Game of Death. You'll play Stick the Assassin. And you had every villain in Hollywood wanted to do that role. And Klaus stuck with me. And the executive producer, Raymond Chow, and producer Andre Morgan, they didn't want me. They wanted some big name. And Klaus told him, no, you have Gig Young, won an Academy Award. Dean Jagger was nominated Academy Award. He said, I want this guy. He is Stick. And, I mean, it's amazing how many people have seen that picture and associate me with it. And it's that's where it all started. And I worked with Klaus again on The Ultimate Warrior, Yul Brynner, Max von Sydow, I did the second toughest stunt in that movie. The stunt people made me an honorary stuntman, and it was a dangerous one. I remember going home in the car saying, Lord, I need help on this one. I shouldn't have said I could do it. But it came out real good. And that's the one where, after Yul Brynner killed me, they put peanut butter and sunflower seeds on me and dumped 40 live rats that were hungry, and they ate all the peanut butter and sunflower seeds. So that was, I had to hold my breath for like a minute and a half while they were doing all the close ups and stuff.
40 rats? I can't even handle one, to be honest with you. I have to get 40 cats to get rid of those 40 rats if I was in those shoes.
Oh, yeah, they were the big ones, too.
Ooh.
And I told that lady who owned them, I said, listen, if one of those rats bite me, I'm going to bite you. And the human bite's worse than a rat bite. Oh, no, my babies won't hurt you. Well, they better not. But anyway, that was Yul Brynner. I really liked him, and nice man. After the movie was over, he started King and I in a play down in Los Angeles. And I went to the play, and I went and saw him in his dressing room, and he looked gaunt. That's when he had the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he did a commercials. When you see the commercial, I will be dead because of lung cancer. Don't smoke. Smoking kills. And after every scene would do, he'd light up a cigarette.
Oh, wow.
And I said, how much do you smoke? I'm doing good. I'm down to 3 packs a day. I used to smoke 5 packs. And it really got him. So it's been I've been blessed. Like last year, I did 5 films: Skeleton Crew, Masks. Nobody in those 5 films got the COVID, and I had first billing in each one.
Oh, wow.
And right now, I'm working on 4 different scripts that I'm signed to do. This coming Saturday, I'll be doing Zombie 8, Urban Decay. I play a governor. And then Rattlers, I did Rattlers 2, which was a lot of dialogue in it. And that's going to be shown on Friday on one of the networks. So it's been real busy. Skid Row's been shut down since March. They're dropping like flies down there. I'm not going down there anymore.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been ministering on Skid Row 39 years.
Mm-hmm.
And prisons and penitentiaries all over the country. We have more people in prisons. You take 15, 20 other countries. We got more than all of them.
Wow.
So, yeah, drugs mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and what inspired you to do some volunteer work on Skid Row?
Well, I was invited to the Union Rescue Mission as a celebrity.
Okay.
I had done some major movies, like Black Belt Jones was the 3rd biggest moneymaker for Warner Brothers. And I had, before I went there, I had 10 throat surgeries in 10 years where I couldn't talk for 7 weeks. When I was 9, they were going to amputate my leg or I was going to die. My mother wouldn't let them. And I ended up running 100 yards in 9.6, 9.7, and played pro ball, played football. So I went through a lot of stuff that was really difficult. And at the Union Rescue Mission, the CEO saw me speaking with, I had about 25 street people. They were hanging on every scripture and encouraging them, and blew them away because I never drank or I never did drugs,
Mm-hmm.
or smoked. And it was just a thing. I was an athlete, man. I didn't want to do anything that would harm my body.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out well. The CEO says, got to have you do a service. And the LA mission heard about me. I started doing services there, the Fred Jordan mission, Long Beach Rescue Mission. And then there was, here we go with Stick again. There was an inmate from LA County Jail, which is the worst jail in the country, biggest jail in LA County Jail. And he came into the spiritual growth program at the Union Rescue Mission. And he called the chaplain, who was a big Bruce Lee fan. He says, "You're not going to believe this, but Stick the Assassin from Game of Death is a Christian." And I started going around the country. And in the prisons, you have to sign your paper if you're taken hostage. They don't make deals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing that for 37, 38 years. I've been to every level 3, level 4 penitentiary in California. San Quentin, Pelican Bay is the worst one in the country. I've been there 12 times. So, prisoners, they embrace that because they saw most of the movies. And usually I played one of them in the movies. So.
My goodness, I mean, you just been such an inspiration to a lot of people as well. And we'll also talk about more, including the Special Olympics, some of your other feature films you've been in, and talk more about your projects, also the Soldier for Christ. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout-out to our official sponsor, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So get your copy today. Mian Mohsen Zia's Missing, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and heard over 30 podcast platforms including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, and also heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the terrific, multi-talented, quintessential, iconic action movie villain and super nice guy, Mel Novak, here on The Mike Wagner Show. He's been in Black Belt Jones. We talked about Ultimate Warrior with Yul Brynner and Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris. Talked about Volunteer and Skid Row. And before we get to more about the movies you appeared in and some of the mission work you've done, especially with one you're really passionate about, who are some of your favorite actors and you grew up, and also how about some of your favorite movies growing up?
Well, I liked, for the Western, I liked Shane. Alan Ladd and Shane was really cool. Jack Palance, that's why I love to play villains.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jack Palance played that villain in Shane, and it was the Western was always fun and gangster movies. Humphrey Bogart and all those super great. I was just watching Casablanca for probably the 15th time.
Wow.
Had all those good character actors, and always loved movies. And it was just a good escape. And then I end up playing in them, which is like a miracle. You got a great role. That's like a miracle. And I like in Hong Kong, I was in Hong Kong 7 weeks. And that fight I did in the rain was from 8 at night till 8 in the morning. That was a long night, soaking wet. and but it turned out really well, and Klaus was very pleased with my work and how I did that, and that opened up. Like some people say, well, why did you do that? Let's a stuntman. No, that got me extra roles because they don't have to say cut and then have the stuntman come in. And I was on the sets. I hung out with the stunt people, good guys, and I learned from them. And it was a good adventure. But even today, I like to watch. Still like to watch Gunsmoke.
Oh, my favorite.
Those are great. Out of all of them, and then to see Gary Cooper with his movies, and just that's why I was always a fan. And I got to meet, I worked with Steve McQueen, super guy, and he liked me because he spent some time in juvenile when he was a kid, and he knew what I did. Because there's no pay. I never got a paycheck in Skid Row or prisons, and so he really respected that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so many, good people, nice people. There was I'm not going to say the name, but. He was drinking all during the shoot the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Mel, have a drink. Oh no, thanks. I don't drink. Oh, what do you mean? Everybody drinks. I said, no, I never drank. Oh, you recovered alcoholic. I didn't say that. They assumed that.
Really?
But eventually it affected his health, and he was a very good actor. And I was sad that he's in a motion picture hospital now. But I met some really, really super nice people. Mike Connors and the Mannix. Remember Abe Vigoda? He played in Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they stuffed him.
Mm-hmm. And I remember Barney Miller as well, too, and that's another one. What was it? And he in Fish? Yeah. I mean, I love him, and not only he was a serious actor, he was also a pretty good comedian, too, in a way, with the way he says it. So I remember him and Barney Miller and Fish.
Yeah, he got a kick out. I collect minerals. I have a great collection, crystals and amethyst. And I told my daughters, I have two daughters. I raised my daughters. Their mother left when my daughters were 7 and 10. I got a great relationship with my daughters because I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I'm in the prisons, I tell them, you guys who don't write to your daughters or something, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much rejection, abandonment, betrayal. When I counsel people, I see the wounds, walking wounded. So that was my relationship with my daughters it touches my heart, and they get a kick out of it because I love to play villains.
And I can still see Stick in my mind as well, too. And speaking of Stick the Assassin in the movie Game of Death, what was it like working with Bruce Lee in the film?
Well, I met him on Green Hornet.
Oh.
And he was like staring at me, and I says, what? You got a villain's face. I knew that. Then I said, little did he know that I was going to play the villain in his last movie.
Oh, my goodness.
That was amazing. I liked him. You have so many wannabes and Harpabees, but there was never another like him. The charisma, and of course he was a perfectionist, and when you're a perfectionist, you're never satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 7 years after the Game of Death, they had up at Columbia. It was his, I guess, the anniversary of when he died. they had a get together. I was the only one from Game of Death that they called to do, and that's where I met his son Brandon, and that was so sad what happened to him.
Oh
I
my gosh!
met
Yes.
his wife Linda, and you know, if you remember in the movie, I was the villain who got in as an extra in the movie he was doing, and I switched bullets for a real one, shot him, and that's how his son died.
I did hear something about that. Oh my goodness! It's like who would think of doing something like that? Yes. Oh my goodness.
And Brandon was such really a good guy. He was very good in karate, and he's an excellent actor. And it just, it's what I always tell people, you know, be grateful for today because tomorrow's not promised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Brandon wasn't going to get married a month after The Crow, and of course, that's when it's when he died. It's sad. It's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And like Gig Young, Academy Award winner, and that was a tragedy too. I introduced him to the script girl on Game of Death, and they started going out. And then he asked me to go with him to pick out a ring. I says, you know, Gig, too fast, man. Be patient, wait. And anyway, they got married a week after the shoot was done in Hong Kong, and then a week later, he killed her and killed himself.
Oh my goodness, that's
and I
sad.
talked to Jan Sterling. That I went to the wake for him, and because I really liked him, he's really a nice guy. And she says, Mel, Dick he hated guns. He didn't own a gun. So maybe he gambled or something, and someone took them both out.
Uh-huh.
It was so sad. That gal was such a nice gal. And I can remember I grieved over both of them passing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and,
Mm-hmm.
Dean Jagger, you know, he did a lot of major movies. That was good. There was just so many different people. I can remember this one karate guy. He was actually, you know, really good looking. He was the best karate guy around. He'd whip all of those guys, Chuck Norris and all of them.
Oh my goodness.
And the drugs got him, ruined a career, and he ended up. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Life is short, and if you got something going good,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta press on and be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's 5 movies last year. No more fights, no more stunts. But I had good roles, a lot of dialogue, and not many people did 5 movies last year.
Mm-hmm.
And already 4 I'm working on right now. So it's, you know, rough.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's been tough as well too. We'll talk about those 5 films, and most notably too, I'm going through the Game of Death cast. I noticed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was there. Was Hakeem? And what was it like working with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah, he wasn't there when I was there. He didn't want to come back there. They did. So he did that fight scene with Bruce. There was another basketball player that was 7'2".
Mm-hmm.
He was like in a corner there, and he didn't have much to say. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how they worked out, because you know it's a 15-hour flight to Tokyo, then to Hong Kong. But I loved it. That was unfortunately Hong Kong has a lot of problems now.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, it was really excellent. 7 weeks, to be in there and being in a major movie that it seems like everybody in the world has seen. I know that even in the prisons they have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
They had at the Chinese Grauman Theater is when they had the do, and I was campus.
Mm-hmm.
It was jammed. It was jam packed on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, that had to be a lot as well too. And also, I was going to get to part about with you being in Hong Kong as well too for those 7 weeks or so. What was your favorite part about Hong Kong?
It's everything. You went shopping, you could buy, custom suits were made for $100. Later on, I was spending $1,200-$1,500 for a custom suit.
Wow.
And the people were really nice. People were very nice, and I enjoyed the food because they gave us. I made a lot of money on just your expenses. I never even touched my salary, but just to see everything that when you weren't working, I would just go all around just to look and see. Wow, I'm in China. So that was quite an experience.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound like an experience as well, too. And we'll also talk about some of your latest films, your upcoming projects, and your brand new project. And we'll be back with Mel Novak on The Mike Wagner Show after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host, and I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionsea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We are back on The Mike Wagner Show with Mel Novak, the quintessential iconic action movie villain. He's been in Bruce Lee's Game of Death, best known as Stick the Assassin, and We All Get in His Head. And, of course, he was also in Max with Mike Connors and Abe Vigoda. Also in Black Belt Jones, Ultimate Warrior with Yul Brynner, and Eye for Eye with Chuck Norris, and talked about some of his other movies he was in and working with Bruce Lee and more. And you also got inducted into 5 Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And tell us about those and what got you inspired into martial arts, first of all?
Well, I had a couple of friends that were in it, and I just started to learn. And then, like I said, Pat Johnson had done a lot of stunt coordinating. So I ended up doing all my fights and stunts, and that worked out really well for me as an actor, where they knew they didn't call cut and someone went in. And I was always in shape. I'm still, 6'2", 175. And that all helped, being in shape and knowing your lines and things would open. And plus, they knew that I never messed around with drugs or alcohol, which was an asset because a lot of people screwed their careers up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so I got more and more into it, and that's how I got the Martial Arts Hall of Fame awards, with doing all the pictures I did, and it just turned out very well. But they knew I did my own stuff, and you worked at it and stayed in. You got to be in shape, and you got to use discipline. And I was always disciplined and organized.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now I'm memorizing lines from 4 different movies. One's in Denver, Colorado, called The Initiation. I'm playing the dean in a college where there's witchcraft and demons. So that's going to be fun. And last year I did Tales of the Campfire 3, Ebola Rex, The Beast Beneath, Rattlers 2, and what was the other one? My mind just went blank on the fifth one. Now, we're also going to do Ebola Rex versus the Murder Hornets.
Ebola Rex versus Murder Hornets. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I'm ready to get some tickets for that one, and and especially I'm sure the seats are open too due to COVID. So
yeah,
get your tickets now. Ebola Rex versus Monster Hornets. I'm looking forward to it.
Murder Hornets.
Murder Hornets. Yes.
Dustin Ferguson has directed these pictures, and he's fast. And he's very good, very talented, and I get, like I say, I got first billing on all 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fine. That was really cool to be able to work during this time. Where a lot of people didn't get any jobs, and they lost jobs.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Then
Rattlers too. Like, I hate snakes, and I remember years and years ago, I was cast a starring role in a movie called Stanley. And then they told me, okay, why don't you get used to, Stanley had these snakes that would go and kill people. Why don't you get used to these snakes? You could put the snake around your neck and you could kiss it over. No, I don't like snakes. Well, you have to. This is the whole movie. I can't do this. And they were ticked that someone else did the role. But no snakes. I did the Arcanado was the other picture about mutant spiders.
What is it again? Octonator?
Arcanado. Arcanado.
Arcanator. Okay,
That's
got
the
it.
title about the snake. I mean, spiders.
Got
I
it.
see
Okay.
a spider, I squash it.
Ooh.
No, I don't like spiders.
Well, if that's the case, we got some spiders in our house. You can come on over and do so free of charge. I'll be happy to do that. And if you see some snakes, you can just pick them up and just throw them. So.
Man. Oh Lord.
I
see. I saw that. I like the animal shows. That these wrestlers are going to start serving. What's that real big, huge snake that squashes people?
Is that a python or a anaconda?
Yeah. And they're going to start feeding us to people in restaurants. Not me.
Oh my
And
gosh, eating snake?
Yeah.
Woo! I
Yeah.
cannot picture it right now. I hope Denny's doesn't serve it or anything. I will boycott if they do that.
That's for sure. Boy.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I had met, when I first came out, Cary Grant, and I was working with that insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this claim that Cary Grant broke a tooth on some seafood where the shell was in there. So I called this agent manager and said, "Well, you got to see me." I said, "No, either I see him or you can file a lawsuit."
Uh-huh.
Well, I ended up going to Universal, and I got all dressed up, and I'm taking a statement, and I'm giving him the right, from my right profile to the left, and you could just see he's thinking, what is this guy doing? So I take the statement, I got the bill, I gave him the check and the release, he signed. I said, "Okay, we're finished with the case now," and I gave him my 8x10 and my resume. I said, "I'd really like to work for you in a movie." He laughed so hard. He says, "You old buzzard." I was wondering what in the world is this guy doing? He said, "I can't wait to tell my friends." And he had just finished a movie, a comedy. It was on the Navy. He says, "I want to put you in that in a minute." He said, "But I'm here now getting everything. I'm retiring." And so that was kind of cool. That was a real legend, Cary Grant. And I met a lot of them. And Clint Eastwood, super nice guy, super, super talented. I mean, all the acting and directing, and it's like you meet some really nice people. And like a lot of the villains, Richard Widmark, boy, I like that. I just saw that first movie he did with where he played that crazy guy with the and but he's so nice. James Stewart, super nice human being. So I met a lot of them as I was trying. And like I say, I had a job. I had money coming in. Because I always tell people, don't come to Hollywood unless you have money for an apartment for a year, money for food, for Uber, and you got to get good pictures. Because a lot of them come out thinking they're going to be a star. They end up on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And the street is not good.
Mm-hmm. And that is very good advice as well, too. For those who are looking to make it in Hollywood, you have to save up for a year, for rent, for food. And, I mean, you've been there, done that, Mel. I mean, it makes a lot of great sense. And there's one thing that I noticed that you played your first role opposite with Jerry Lewis in Which Way to the Front. Tell us about that. And what was it like working with Jerry Lewis?
I loved Jerry Lewis. A lot of people didn't like him, but he was good to me, and that was my first role. And you know, I didn't want to screw anything up. They had 2 weeks of brutal rainstorms, and the picture couldn't be done. It was a disaster. But I had dialogue and stuff, and that's the first time I learned that you never know what's going to end up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I took my buddy with me to the movie, and I had showed him my script and everything. I played a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whoever came up with the idea of those SS troop wardrobe, that was really, when someone saw those guys, the fear would paralyze them. And when we went to the movie, almost all that I did was cut out.
Oh, my
And I
gosh.
remember I was sick. I was sick about it.
Oh, my goodness.
So one of my buddies says, "Well, that happens a lot. You know, he couldn't do what he wanted to do. I think in the 20th century, ended up doing a lot of cutting on it. So that was a good lesson, but it was a tremendous experience, and I still got a letter from him thanking me for my work and being professional. And that, I get a letter. I was a young guy. I get a letter from Jerry Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it does sound like it as well, too, and does a lot of special work. He also volunteered with the Special Olympics, and I saw that. That has to be very impressive. And tell us about what's it like working with the Special Olympics and what got you inspired to volunteer.
Oh, I did that for like 16 years. You see, when I had that shoulder surgery, I was crippled 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had the 10 throat surgeries, I couldn't talk for 7 weeks at a time. And I had, God gave me a good heart for people that struggle with different things. And some of the best years of my life was working with the Special Olympic kids. In fact, there was a school called the High Hopes, and they nominated me as their favorite actor of all time, which, apparently they didn't know that how many good actors they had. But I did a play with the Special Olympic kids, and I was the quote-unquote only normal one that wasn't in that school. And they were stealing each other's lines, and it was really a fun time. And I ministered to a lot of them, and it was just a great time. Remember one time they had a fundraiser, and no one from the LA Rams showed up, from the Dodgers or Angels. I was the only celebrity there.
Oh, wow.
And I became their like hero. So that was, and it's at UCLA, they always had the big Special Olympic, what they would do in track and everything else. And it was just a blessed time. They're wonderful kids. They tell the truth, and they love you unconditionally, which unfortunately in a world with all the stuff that's going on, there's not much love anymore.
Isn't that the truth? And that really makes me sad. I got to say that. I'm sure everybody does, but working with just special people, it just, you got to find something.
Yeah, those were tremendous years when I spent the time with them. And one time, I did this movie called Lovely but Deadly, and it had some real good actors in it. And in the end, I was in a boat, and it blew up. And the school, because the whole school went to see it, and they went into depression. They thought it was real. What are we going to do? Mel Novak is dead. So
Oh,
the
my gosh.
called me. I had to drive an hour and 20 minutes to get there. And my brother was visiting, my brother Robert from Detroit, Michigan, visiting. He went with me. And when they were playing basketball and stuff, when they saw me, they came screaming, hugging me, jumping on me. And it was really touching. We thought you were dead. How did you get? I said, well, I swam under the water, and I had to get away for the sequel.
For the sequel, that's a good one. I like that. It's like, we thought you're dead.
Yeah.
No, I have to survive for the sequel. I like that.
Yeah, there were the one kid, Bill. He was about 6'5", and he always told stupid elephant jokes. So one time after a fundraiser, we were all eating, and I ate with the kids, boys and girls. And I says, Bill, I got an elephant jokes. Whoa, what? What's green and yellow hangs on trees? He says, what? That's elephant's nuts. He goes over to all his parents, real loud. I got a new elephant joke. Bill, we heard them all. No. He told me, joke. Go sit down, Bill. We're eating. We don't want to hear about it. Mel Novak told me that. All the guys I was with. No, he didn't. Mel didn't tell him that. So he was over there pouting. I said, Bill, I love you, man. But it was, there are precious moments in life. I'm with my daughters, and I got some beautiful grandkids, and the struggles we had with Elijah, who had osteosarcoma cancer when he was 17. And in fact, that bone between his shoulder and elbow broke in half. And he had some really bad chemo. And those are precious moments when something good happens. Because his last scan was perfect.
Wow, amazing!
And I had people all over the world praying because they took 10 nodules out of his lungs on 2 different surgeries, 5-inch incisions, and an aggressive tumor started growing. So I got people all over the world in the ministry I have on Skype and Zoom, and they prayed, and that was gone. Of course, he had a soccer scholarship, but that's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you got your life, you have health, you got wealth,
mm-hmm.
and that was just super that had. My daughter and I, Leah, we cried when we heard the scan was clear.
Wow.
There are different things I get invited to where people, they need some celebrities that I never know. And I never ask for anything. I just go to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are hurting, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a thing of reaching out. It's like on Skid Row. There's people love me down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and in the prisons, I've been in some of the worst prisons in the world. And it's just a blessing to see someone. I just got a letter today from a guy, and he's in a hole in Pelican Bay now.
Uh-huh.
Because he got jumped by a bunch of other inmates. There's so much violence. Like, you and I talk, whatever happened to love? It's just too much. The agenda of hating and judging and being critical. So what I do is I encourage. I always encourage people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an inmate up at the Pelican Bay or San Quentin. So, you're the only actor, movie star ever come here, and yet we've talked about you're still humble. He said, "Well, how did you get there?" I said, "Well, I've had 28 surgeries. I should have died 7 times. I've lived with pain 30 years. I had a wife walk out of a marriage." And he goes, oh, okay. We see.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's, I remember when I went to Walla Walla Penitentiary, and the night before I'm there, they showed The Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
Where
wow.
the whole prison watched it. And another show, another prison, It was amazing. And they listened. Because I told them, you have family. You can't keep doing this, all this drug stuff and selling. And it is, in a lot of the penitentiaries I go to, you got $300,000 or $400,000 in the prison that they get in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and the other thing too, if someone's a child molester, they kill them. That's the unwritten rule.
Mm-hmm.
I led one guy to the Lord to kill 22 child molesters in 20 years.
Wow.
20 years, yeah. So what I do is, as a villain, I watch them, and I know some that were murderers, some that were in the mafia. I watch how they walk, how they do this. So I kind of steal some things I could use within my character, because I like to make a background and biography on my characters. In fact, I found a two-page one on Stick, the assassin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was always good to say, yeah, you can just steal some idiosyncrasies that someone might have.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of it,
Mm-hmm. That sounds very amazing, how you can just take bits and pieces of a certain person or people and put them together as a villain. And I was thinking about this, how you copied certain idiosyncrasies when it comes to people in a prison. What would you say, who was like the most unique prisoner or in the penitentiary that you copied, or like what was like the most unique idiosyncrasies that they had?
Well, I didn't like, the Manson gang. I didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the ones that followed him, they became, people who repented, like Susan Atkins in a women's prison. I used to get a lot of proposals in the women's prison.
Oh my!
Hi, how long do you have? Oh, I got 15 more years. Oh, well, when I get out, are you married? No. And I'm saying single. Thank you very much. But what a wounded. And the Manson gang, those two brothers. Oh, there's so many people who murdered. And I even asked this one guy, Donovan. He was like a short guy, bald, chunky. And he asked me, could God forgive you for anything? I said, anything except blasphemy the Holy Spirit. I said, why? How long are you here now? 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I killed my wife. I said, why would you kill your wife? I thought she was going bowling every week, and I thought she was out cheating on me, and I killed her. I mean, it's amazing the reason some people do certain things. That's why, the mind is a devil's playground. And you just, I've heard some stories that make you get chills.
Uh-huh.
One guy in the Donovan Penitentiary, he told me some of the things that go on in there. He says, if they knew I told you, they'd kill me.
Oh, I
ain't
see.
going to tell nobody. Up in San Quentin, I was going cell to cell, and this one guy, it was real dark in there. I said, hello? I said, would you like me to pray for you? Yeah, my son's over in Yard B. Could you pray for him? So he had father and son in the same penitentiary.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And the juvenile, you got these young kids that their lives are going to be wrecked.
Uh-huh.
Just the violence and hate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I used to play softball,
Ah,
tournament softball. Yeah, I used to pay my way. I averaged over 800, and because the ministry was in darkness,
mm-hmm.
we were in prison, and then I always played villains that were dark. So I'd be out there playing softball in the sunshine, and anyway, it was. It's been an adventure, Mike.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like a great adventure as well, too. And lastly, let's talk about your website you got on there. And you have a cause called Soldier for Christ, going behind enemy lines and prison skid rows to win souls. And we know you talked about some, and maybe you can just sum up what is Soldier for Christ. And that's a very interesting ministry you got.
Yeah, it's Skid Row. We have about 30,000 people on the street. Drugs, alcohol, and then prisons, you get someone like in Florida, the guy had 999 years and a 99-day sentence. But I made him laugh. I said, hey, Lord's going to come back long before then. But I was able to reach out in those places.
Uh-huh.
And help a lot of people. I have a garbage over those black huge garbage bags full of letters from people that I've helped, mostly in prisons and Skid Row, and it's like, in fact, my website melnovak.com, melnovak.com. I have a spiritual warfare arsenal prayer. Over a million people have it. Dresses you for the battle against the devil.
Uh-huh.
And I've done well over 10,000 services. I don't know how many I've counseled. And that's what my main function was winning souls. That's why I called Soldier for SOULDIER, because it's a war. We're in a war with the devil. So it's been a blessing. But it's been hard. It's been tough.
Mm-hmm.
You constantly see people that are just down and out, and when they're in the hole, a lot of them commit suicide.
Oh, my gosh.
And suicide's not the answer. And in our country, every year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you have 400,000 to 500,000 people attempt suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and half of them die.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the ones that didn't die, I ask them, why would you want to kill yourself? I'm lonely. Well, that's not the answer. Just recently, I knew a guy, he would cast extras in movies and stuff, and he OD'd on sleeping pills.
Oh, my gosh.
Another guy, when the corona hit, he was he used to be the mayor at Beverly Hills, and he went from 165 pounds to 117 because fear was eating him. That's the devil's number one tool. Fear and faith can't live in the same heart. And he took 100 sleeping pills.
Ooh.
So, life is short. And you do the best you can with it. And life isn't perfect. But what are you going to do with it when all hell breaks loose?
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people get eaten up with anxiety, worry, fretting, stress, and tension. I know a gal right now from stress from a relative, a sister. She has shingles.
Uh-huh.
Another one from the stress coughs every minute.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah. So, whatever life we have, we got to do the best we can and we have to reach out and help other people,
Mm-hmm.
and be a blessing somehow.
And you've been definitely a blessing as well, too, Mel. Upon talking to you, very encouraging, very inspirational. And just a few more things with Mel Novak here on the Mike Wagner Show, best known as Stick the Assassin in Bruce Lee's Game of Death, and also been in other projects like The Initiation, Tales from the Campfire, and more. And what are some of your other projects you've got going on in 2021 and beyond, and what else can we expect from you?
I got a part that's like the Psycho, Anthony Perkins role. It's called Paradise Hotel. That's a fun role.
Ooh.
Talking to my mother. Mother, I'll take care of that tomorrow. There's no mother there. It's a fun role. That's coming up. And the one I told you, Zombies 8, and The Initiation, and also Ebola Rex versus the Murder Hornets. Now, also, later on in the year, there's a project that Boris Karloff did 6 of those shows, and the director wants me I narrate the beginning and the ending of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the 4th show, I'll play a starring role. But that's, there's a lot of things just going on, and I'm still working. I'm still getting blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, while I'm home locked in, I'm still ministering. I did 180 Omega Man 2-hour shows, and how I got on there. Shannon Ray Davis was a Bruce Lee fan. He changed his name legally to Bruce Lee.
Oh, my goodness.
And he changed it back. And there was a guy that his sister brought him to my house. He was a son. He was hooked on heroin or cocaine or whatever. And I led him to the Lord, gave him a Bible, prayed over him. And he never touched anything since.
Wow.
He listened to that show. And he said, you know who that is? I said, I don't know. Anyway, he called Shannon and told him, Stick the Assassin from Game of Death. it was a minister in the Skid Row prison. And that's how I got on that show.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
we just did one Tuesday night. And it's all over YouTube and everywhere else. It's called Omega Man. And then every Wednesday there's a show called, actually, the guy he and his wife own a radio, and the Truth Be Told radio network.
Uh-huh.
He wanted me to do a show every week for an hour, every Wednesday. He said, but I want to name the title. I said, sure. He loved Bruce Lee. He loved my character, Stick. He calls it Stick with Jesus.
Stick with Jesus. Oh, my gosh. That is, I like that one. I really do. Stick with Jesus.
Yeah,
that is a good one.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
it's been, like I say, I should have died 7 times. I've had all those surgeries, but I press on. What adversity can strengthen you if you don't let it eat you up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you got to encourage somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing in life where we just have to reach out, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just be caught up with self.
Exactly, especially in this time as well, too. And just a couple of things, Mel. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Yeah. But in the films, in the movie industry. I remember, what was his name? Dick. He played a lot of the old shows, and I ran into him, and he said, "Just give it your best, but be prepared." And that's why I learned a camera technique from Screen Actors Studio. Stacey Harris, Michael Pate, they were great character actors. And, I don't believe in luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
That's true.
And I was prepared. And I can remember being up in NBC. I had a new car out there from a job I had. I had a great suit on. I had a blonde in the car waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And going to read for a part, and this guy was sweating bullets. I said, "Hey, man, I got some vitamin C in the car. Are you sick?" He says, "No, man, I got to get this job. My rent's due."
Oh, wow.
They smell that. That's a killer.
Oh, I see. That's a good point.
Yeah. So that's why I encourage you. You want to get into the business, and there's a lot of places in Hollywood. They tell, "Well, you come to my school, I'll guarantee you some roles and your SAG card." A lot of it's a sham.
Uh-huh.
But find someone that you know or who will talk to you and encourage you about what you need to do. You got to be prepared. You got to have money to eat. And now they have Uber and Lyft, but you got to have money for that.
Uh-huh.
You can't just. I want to be. Remember, I was at a wedding, and there was only one girl that was single, so I went over and sat with her. So I said, "What do you do?" I like to ask people about themselves. "I'm going to be the greatest pianist that ever lived." And I went, "Are you mocking me?" "No. But even if you were the second greatest, you wouldn't be satisfied." Anyway, she told me to go to hell, and she left the table.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like some people, "I want to be a star." Why don't you be a fine working actor who has discipline, who knows their lines, who doesn't screw around with drugs or alcohol, especially on a set, and just to be a working actor.
Mm-hmm.
I did a movie with this young kid, and I guess when he was 20 years old, I did the movie with him when he was 12. His dad was there, really never the martial arts thing. And he jumped off a building, killed himself.
Oh, my goodness.
Because the career. I tell people, if nothing's happening within 3 years, maximum 5, use wisdom and get into something else. There was a Corey Allen. He was the guy that went off the cliff in that James Dean movie. What's that movie? It was really made James Dean big. And this guy, in his class, he was going to acting classes for 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
So the one gal says, "Man, you better give it up." 20, and the guy starts crying and screaming. That's not wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing's happening within 3 to 5 years, unless you have a lot of money where you're not doing anything, but today it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what do you want? What do you really want?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, you have to give up things if you want to keep going. I know I had some friends that were waiters and worked as bartenders and stuff, whatever it took to get going. And I was fortunate because I worked in an insurance company where I got a free car. That was part of the job, and I was an outside adjuster. So that's why I was able to do a lot of modeling jobs, do little jobs until something big came in. And I gave that job up after I came back from Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
It's just important.
Mm-hmm.
Because where that pressure, we have that pressure, you got to have this job. Listen, there are jobs that people don't get, that they didn't even know what they really wanted, but someone else got it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I see it too. It's almost like, in a way, blessed in disguise. In a way, it's saying that it's basically when one door closes, another one opens. People should start realizing that too.
Yeah. And you have to be encouraged, because discouragement will eat you up. Remember, there was a big commercial in there when it went like 3 times, and it came down to this one actor and me. And I was perfect for the role, but at that time, he had a better name.
Uh-huh.
Then he was like, "Oh, thanks, man." I said, "Hit the road. Hit the road, man. Don't give me this stuff." I wasn't too gracious.
Oh, my gosh. That is something.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that something? All right, we're here with Mel Novak. He was in Bruce Lee's Game of Death, Stick the Assassin, and also a bunch of others, Black Belt Jones, Ultimate Warrior, the quintessential iconic action movie villain, and in real life, Mr. Nice Guy on the Mike Wagner Show. Mel, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Very inspiring as well, too. And lastly, just tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people check out your films? And also, most importantly, how to get involved with Soldier for Christ?
Yeah, well, right now with the ministry on Skid Row and prisons, everything's shut down. In fact, I talked to the chaplain up at Pelican Bay. Families cannot even come in and see them.
Oh, wow.
So that's gone. And right now I have 4 films that I'm going to be doing this year. I'm working on the dialogue right now. And check out my website, www.melnov like victory ak.com. And it's hard now with this COVID, but we still got to reach out to people. I get myriads of calls for people hurting, and just got to encourage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got people who will do anything to get a role, and they see you getting a lot of roles.
Mm-hmm.
And jealousy is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and go to IMDb. You can see all the stuff that's going. There's a lot of other projects that I'm assigned to do, but they don't have their funding yet. That's
Mm-hmm.
always the key. It's always the key, and you gotta just keep on keeping on.
Mm-hmm.
To see what's going to happen. And while you're waiting, you can be practicing cold reading, learning about camera technique. Like the cinematographers always liked me because I knew camera technique. I spent like 3 years with Stacey Harris and Michael Pate and Biff Elliott, really good, Eddie Robinson, good character actors. They ran to school. It was all kind of camera technique. that is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And cold reading, how you can get the job. And fortunately, I don't have to read anymore. I haven't read for a role, I don't know how long. I did Tales of Frankenstein already came out, but the Great American Horror Show Volume 2, I got an incredible role in that. That's done. They're working on it for editing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lifer inmate, and all those years I was trying to find this inmate who killed granddaughter, and I finally got transferred to this death row, and I was giving books out to the inmates. This inmate didn't know that I knew what he did. I was real nice, got his confidence, and in that role, there was a lot of dialogue. I had, like I say, I was nice, compassionate, then anger, rage, and I cried on cue 3 times, and then I stabbed him 30 times, killed him.
Wow. Oh,
so
my gosh.
remember, the Last American Horror Show, Volume 2, it was really a super role. There's a couple other. Live and Let Die hasn't come out yet. I played a mafia guy, which I like to play those.
Mm-hmm.
When It Rings, Sally Kirkland was in it. She was an Academy Award nominee, super lady, very talented. Waiting for those to come out. And The Beast Beneath was a fun role. I played this mayor, and he was not all he cared about was himself, his votes, and the money he would make. And then they had me showing or watching this TV where his beats was killing people. So I said to the director, hey, this would be a good time for this guy to say something. What would you like to say? I hope this doesn't affect my re-election. And everybody loved that line. The director loved it, and everybody says, man, what an a-hole that guy was.
Sounds like today's elections, not just here in America, but in other countries.
Everywhere, yeah. In Russia, that Russian president, the people who wouldn't vote for him, he had them killed.
Yeah, vote for me or die. So,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is something. And Mel, before we go here, would you like to go ahead and close the show in prayer?
Sure. Father, we just ask you to reach out. There's so many people hurting, walking wounded. Psalm 147:3. You heal the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds. In Jeremiah 30, verse 17, you said, I will restore health and heal you of your wounds. Your arm's not too short to reach down. So many people hurting, struggling with their finances. You promised to take care of their needs. Philippians 4:13. And we just speak blessings, healing, and an Ephesians 3:20 New Year for Mike and all the people listening. And that scripture says, God, you'll get over and above what you ask God for. Blessings. And the people that I deal with the cancers, uproot every cancer cell in Matthew 15:13. And Father, right now, the whole world is struggling. And we know you're on a throne, and we know that soon something is going to happen. It's going to show your great and mighty power. So we thank you for each day of living. We thank you for our health and all the blessings. And we ask you to continually bless Mike and his wonderful show that goes everywhere. And it's very important for us even to praise God for the blessings, even during the time we're struggling. So we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mel. And once again, Mel Novak, the quintessential, iconic action movie villain on the Mike Wagner Show, and also having his ministry, Soldier for Christ, and just a lot of great inspirational stories. And you're just absolutely fantastic, Mel. Thank you very much for your time. Definitely love to have you back on, and look forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date, and love to have you back in 2021 and beyond, and be blessed. You've been absolutely amazing. God bless you.
Anytime you would want me, all you got to do is call.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.